I'm months late to the party, and thankfully so, because with a title like this, I would have been late when the movie was in its prime. Regardless, it's true. I wish K-Pop Demon Hunters was better. Sparing no feelings and being 100% honest about this movie, it was pretty good. I actually kind of liked it. Would I watch it again? Well, I have to. I'm making this video. Now, before anybody starts plotting to burn down my house, I only ask that you hear me out. The movie does some things really well and some things really horribly. My biggest issue is that it's short, stretched in the beginning, rushed in the end, and sometimes doesn't make sense. Like me. There's also tonal shifts where one moment it's pondering, what is evil truly? And then the next moment it'll just be like, now I'm willing to put aside my bias of the fact that I wish it was a Spider-Man movie instead. I can rather embrace my K-pop side. Little known fact, but I have been out there holding it down in the K-pop fan space 13 years ago. Until I wasn't. I'm not gonna complain about the cartooniness of the cringy moments either, because this is a kids movie. I am a firm believer that people who look into kids content and complain about cringiness could be eligible for mental disability grants. But don't you for a minute think that I forgot about how you Twitter people tore Turning Red a new one for simply having cringy moments, and then this movie comes out doing the exact same shit, but now that Jungkook's in it, everybody turns a blind eye. Everyone just prefers not to speak. To fully understand where it falls short, we need to go through the story first. Now the movie's name is what it is. Nothing more, nothing less. It is clear cut and dry, and the movie's intro, luckily so, is no different. They tell us demons suck souls, and a trio of chosen hunters hunt them per era. The singers gather faith like in Cult of the Lamb or Green Lantern, and this in turn seals the Han Moon, which is like flex tape but for demons. It keeps them out of this world. How are there still demons if the flex tape's there? I don't know, man, it's not that deep. It's like how in Power Rangers there's always a gap for the villain to come through, don't think about it too much. The three pop stars we follow are introduced by fans in a quick exposition dump. We have Rumi, who's basically the star of the movie, Mira, who's like May, or Mai, I think it's May, from Avatar, but I think she lacks a moral compass or a conscience. I genuinely think their mentor got her here just because they didn't think the other two were willing to kill. Spoiler alert, obviously, but later on it seems like the group's about to fight, but they don't, and I genuinely think it's because if they put Rumi's plot armor aside, she was getting packed up, bro. Mira was never playing around to begin with. She's the textbook definition of Black Air Force energy. Now with all the hype I've given Mira, you'd think she was my favorite character, but no. I actually have to double check her name every so often because I forget it so easily. My favorite character is actually the last one, Zoe. She's kind of just there. I can't lie, she's really just there. We don't really see an arc from either of these two characters. It's more of like an angle, like you know, an arc will curve an angle. Their arcs happen within the course of a singular song at the very end of the movie, but that's for the end of the movie. Right now we're in the movie. Right now we get to see them as they're eating their pre-show food, and yeah, get out of the system. Come on, get out of here. The manager, who I forgot to mention earlier, goes by the name Bobby, and he's calling them while they're eating to say that they're late. Pre-show snacks aren't the pre-show if there's no show to pre it. I think. They realize demons have hijacked their plane, so they kick ass. Bro, look at Mira's smile, cracking her fingers. I genuinely think they gave her the Waldo so that she couldn't take her time. I never thought I'd have to do this, but editing biz here, it is not a Waldo, it is a Gokdo. I had him confused, okay? I made a mistake, but yeah, it is not a Waldo, it is a Gokdo. However, take a look at this. This is from Uni Cho, a character designer at Netflix. This was the concept art for Mira's weapons. And see, they considered an executioner's blade, okay? The point still stands. They gave her the one-shot weapon to grant the demons a quick death. Oh no, actually, the other girl's weapon's also one-shot demons. It's not about the weapon type.
I like it, cuz
Mira is a force to be reckoned with. Don't get it mistaken, Rumi has the patterns, but Mira's the demon. The plane gets wrecked and they dive off onto the stage, still beating demons on their way. Now I saw a review talking about the crowd being dumb, so I assume it's for not realizing that these were in fact demons dying. But dear listener, I ask unto thy, if you attended a concert, the artist dived onto stage from the clouds, hit 3 people that immediately burst into confetti, would you not also assume it's special effects? Would you not assume it's a part of the concert? I don't know, I just thought about that because the person mentioned that but didn't talk about how there's half a plane still in the air currently hurtling towards an apartment building. But we're not gonna cry about this, we're not cinema sins, this is a movie, let it go! We get introduced to the Demon King. I keep forgetting his name and it's probably insensitive to call him Aku, but luckily he's not shown a lot so we don't need to worry about that. His name is Grima if I'm not mistaken. He calls one of his lackeys weak because they couldn't beat Huntrix, as if any of the other demons have had any luck, but then a mysterious figure enters the fray, disrespecting him in the form of a song. It is insane to be disrespected in the form of a poem, okay? There is no Spotify or anything in the demon world. This guy's just doing it for the sake of it, and that's something that'll be a more recurring theme than the movie's actual themes. Watch this! This is Genu, the villain we see more often. He suggests making a demon boy band to steal fans from Huntrix, immediately after suggesting that they hit a pose. Then when asked to follow up, they transform and hit a second different pose.
Someone
In Jinu's
cooked.
past life, he was a street performer, and in his afterlife, he's a farmer. But there's only one thing he farms. I didn't want to have to say it. I didn't want to have to say he's aura farming, but that is what he genuinely does. That is what the whole band does. Riddle me this, Batman. How much prep time do you think went into this? He practiced the short poem, gathered his group, practiced their pose, chose their looks, and practiced their second pose. You know he was out there in the character creator losing sleep, just like I'm doing writing and recording this, so I gotta get on with the story. Now I will admit it was useless for me to have said that and then immediately elaborate like 2 scenes later, but this is my favorite scene. The girls finally get their break, but Rumi uploads their new song Golden and jumps into the cleanest fit in the whole movie. So their break, much like Rumi's parents, have passed. I only mention that because this is where it's all coming together. Rumi's parents died. They said it in the beginning, I just forgot to relay that information. I'm not your PA, bro. I'm not out here Mr. Yes Master, just noting down everything for you. There's a Netflix companion site too, bro. Read a fucking book for once. Rumi's mom died, and her adoptive mother was also her mentor. Her dad was a demon who they hunt, and so I assume that's how she got the full Batman origin story. Her being a half demon means she has demon patterns, so she can't do stuff for the friends that require short clothes or no clothes, going to the bathhouse, visiting the beach with anything but a turtleneck, sharing a changing room.
No.
Her patterns grew more, and her adoptive mama mentor was like, once the honeymoon is sealed, then those patterns there should evaporate or something. You know, disappear, much like her dad did. On the note of hiding demon patterns, I want y'all to write that down. Write it down, okay? This is our issue counter, and I'll get to that in a bit. I'm gonna keep it here for now. Just remember that, okay? So the driving force here is that Rumi needs the honeymoon sealed so Rumi doesn't become a demon. But if Rumi becomes a demon, then demon Rumi can't seal the honeymoon. I don't know why entirely. Maybe because her voice will be lost. But even when she's full demon, her voice is still there. And when she's full demon, she just brushes it off, thugs it out. Point is, right now, if the honeymoon isn't sealed, then it's all Jova. It's a race against time, like that one Ben 10 movie. It was a pretty good movie. I don't know why it was disliked. I gotta check it out again soon. Rumi's race against time is only worsened by the fact that she's now losing her voice. The pattern spread to her neck and now mess with her voice. Vocal cords. It's mess with the vocal cords, guys. The pattern spread to her neck and now mess with her voice. I don't know what to tell you, bro. We needed to move your runtime. We had to take a voice. To add insult to injury, they also have her frustratingly damage the seal. So with Rumi losing her voice but refusing to tell the group why and not wanting to take a break, they brainstorm ideas. One idea is to call the mentor and ask for help, but they shoot that idea down immediately. Shut it down, get out of here. They instead decide to visit a doctor voiced by Daniel Day Kim. He stares them all down and reads their fortunes, which only get elaborated on in the final song alongside a reminder, so this scene's not really the most important. However, this is where we get introduced to the Soldier Boys. The girls immediately fall for them, except for Rumi. I thought it's because she's half demon, but nah, it's because she only falls for Jinu, not the other barely named ones. Come to think of it, the group's basically like the Jackson 5. You have Michael Jackson and the 4 other guys. I'm not even pressed about it though. It's fine, it's cool, it's fine. It's whatever, it's cool, it's okay. I should delete this video right now. Jinu shoulder bumps Rumi and she falls over, dropping a box of medicine that she was carrying with her, later revealed to have been 1, grape juice, and 2, stolen. Like damn, they're really not giving her a break. Spider-Man's animation studio wasn't enough, they gave her the rights too. The Soldier Boys proceed to sing the song I dislike the most. I know a lot of people love Soda Pop, but I hate it personally. The songs are odd to me because I like Your Idol the most. It clears, no doubt about it. If you doubt, you're wrong, but I hate Soda Pop. Okay, whereas the Huntrix songs, I like more of them. Like they have a lot more good songs, but I rate them the same. I don't know if you know what I'm like. Everything else is like 10 out of 10. Like the World Idol is. They realize the band's a demon band, and Mira, thirsty as all hell, immediately jumps to violence. She wants to kill them in broad daylight, no questions asked. I'm only like a third of the way through, so we gotta speed stuff up here. They plan to kill the Soldier Boys later after a game show. They dress in the second best fit. Zoe has a hood, which makes you wonder why they're just famous going around killing people. They get exposed and pressured into sliding down the slide. This has no bearing, I just actually thought it was funny. There's a chase scene and a fight scene in the men's bathhouse. Jinu realizes Rumi has patterns, helps her hide it for some reason, and the group realizes that the Soldier Boys are beating them in numbers and so the seal's breaking. No fans equals no seal, but no worries, they're gonna get that seal back up, right? The dopey tiger pops up outside Rumi's room. E screws about with a flower pot and then gives her an invitation to meet Jinu, and she attends so that she can kill him, solo. But she's not like that. She thinks she's Mira, but she needs to take a look in the mirror and see the truthly doothly. She ends up listening to Jinu's sad backstory, but it's not real, it was a lie, it was fake. And he tells her demons feel emotions. We cut back to the group struggling to write their song, which they've decided to make a diss track, and it sounds genuinely worse than anything I've ever made, which is saying something, because they're actually talented. I just hit the keyboard randomly then cry myself to sleep because it's trash. And Zoe wants to crash out at the posters they hung up but ends up fawning over instead. There's a lot more, but I really don't care about it, and it doesn't have much bearing. But look at Mira's bare pajamas. Rumi gets Jinu to meet her. The plans aren't going according to plans. They have one chance, one opportunity, and they're gonna let it slip. She gives him the deal of the century, talking about if you help us by sabotaging a team, then you can be here when the honeymoon's sealed. And he's like, bet, I think. I don't remember it exactly, but I think he agreed. I'm looking at the script right now, not the movie. Here's where we see the real slip. Huntrix needs to save a train full of people from a swarm of demons. Mira realizes Rumi's hiding something. What could it be? Well, you and I know. I just thought that it'd help build suspense to ask. Okay, leave me alone. They're fighting and see a World War Z level flock of demons, so they get down to business. So the group leader's down and out for the count. She's off her game and I'm thinking it's over. Or I would, but I only listened to Your Idol before watching the movie and the song hasn't played yet, so I know there's still more of the movie left to go. And here's where we get the layup of the century. Zoe throws a knife at the brute, stunning him, jumps over, kicks around him on the side, uses him as leverage to boost off towards the next. Don't forget the kick for the road. Mira comes in for the assist. Some of you may say stolen kill. I say shut the fuck. Finishes the brute, swift slashes 2 demons into the ground, stab, AoE attack, squad wide. When I first watched, this was when I realized she's really like that. I had to sit up in my chair rethinking if I should have gotten that Fortnite skin. I owe you an apology, I wasn't familiar with your game. Glazing aside, they just remembered the passengers. Yeah, they're all gone. So remember earlier when I said Jinu said he'd help Rumi? Hear me out, I'm not the rememberer, I don't know, okay? I mixed that scene up with this one where they sing and then Jinu says he's gonna help out. I got back to it, I corrected the timeline. Immediately, Jinu gets yoinked back to the underworld where Guima tells him, "Nuh-uh," and gives him a dose of cyberpsychosis. You really thought you were gonna betray me? You belong to me. Your soul? That's mine. Your voice? That's mine. Your drip? That's mine. That 501 in your back left pocket? That's mine. The Idol Awards are all by and the group decided earlier that they're singing Golden, which they were originally gonna sing, and not Takedown, which is the diss track. Golden is the second best song in the movie. It's a song Rumi released earlier and the one that they were going to use to strengthen the Hanmoon, make it impenetrable, make it golden. Rumi hits the high note and things are looking up. Your Idol must have been on the unreleased track, it seems. Bobby. They done stole Bobby, so Mira and Zoe chase after him no hesitation. I respect it. Hesitation would have been useful though because it was a trick. They got bamboozled, and even for a demon, bringing Bobby into this wasn't very cash money. Fake or not, that is a low blow. Rumi's stuck on stage where demons masquerade as Zoe and Mira. They then sing Takedown. It was removed from the track list, so I know somebody's getting fired backstage. The demons sing it, but the twist is they sing it at Rumi because she's a demon, and they fake the group breaking up. How they knew the song lyrics and the song at all? It's not that deep, bro. It's a musical. And also the tiger was going after the song lyrics a little bit earlier. But yeah, they take Rumi's jacket off and reveal her patterns. GG's, time to throw in the towel, we're cooked. Rumi freaks out, and as she's running away, she finds the real Mira and Zoe and realizes that the demons were on stage that faked the breakup. But now they actually break up. They're conflicted. They feel betrayed. She's a demon and she's been hiding it? You'd think I'm not adding a point here because I already added a point for hiding her patterns earlier. This is a petty one and shouldn't count heavily, so I'll explain it here. They needed 3 singers. They didn't have a choice but to trust Rumi. Her mom's the mentor. I don't know why they didn't believe her. That's about it. Moving on, Rumi flops like 4 skill checks in a row. She doesn't have the charisma level. She thinks she's Zoe. They then lift their weapons prepared to attack. Now in the movie's defense, Rumi was obviously a threat, but they also don't follow through, so I don't know. Also look at Mira, the crash out that she is. Best friend got outed like that, but her loyalty is to the blade. Here's where I thought they'd have the fight scene, and again, I think they didn't do it because Mira would have cleared. Sub 40% hesitation on one of her best friends? She was gonna clean house. Rumi rages out at Jinu for betraying her. He tells her the truth. He didn't sell his soul for his family. He did it for himself. Dishonor on his cow. Shame for display. And we see Huntrix falling off insanely fast. Like bro. Not even Diddy had a fall off this steep when everything happened with him. Also, this one group's name is SPF 100. The award for Idol goes to the Soldier Boys, which means my favorite song is coming up. The song's not that good compared to the Spotify version. And this break in faith for Huntrix lets the demons run rampant. Everyone's in this trance state, even Huntrix. Zoe and Mira have the same things relate to them as the doctor's visit, but now that's what makes them give in. Mira feeling unworthy of a family and subsequently shutting others out. Zoe feeling like she's not enough and overcompensating, being too much, all in her attempts to gain approval. And Bobby, who couldn't hold the group together. They all get swayed into thinking the Soldier Boys and the demons offer refuge from their insecurities and failures. It's pretty deep, much like me and your mom. With the world nearly thrust into despair, Huntrix's mentor, Celine, is at this tree that's holy. I think it's this. I don't want to try pronouncing the name because I'd butcher it. My jokes are different from disregarding religions and cultures, okay? I'm a villain, not a monster. Celine turns around armed, only to see half demon Rumi, and personally, I like the look. They got the half demon Tokyo Ghoul eye, and her one hand's like a demon hand, it's pretty crazy. She also has this cool voice modulation effect, but they get rid of it like 2 sentences later. Rumi is defeated and angry that Celine never loved her fully, demon and all, offering up a sword in a sacrificial stance like, do what you should have done a long time ago. I'm looking at the screen like, damn, is this not a kid's movie? Celine knocks the sword out of her hand saying she can't, which would have been wholesome, but then she immediately starts talking crazy. Everything I was taught said you were wrong. I tried to accept you. Now I'm thinking, yeesh, this is just a light version of what Miguel was whispering to Miles' ear that one time. How is this supposed to make it feel better? Hide it all. We can fix it all, she says. I'll lie to your friends about it. This is why we must hide our issues. Celine continues. She's doubling down. Martingale as a parenting technique is diabolical. Rumi doesn't like that though, so she says she's glad to see the Hanmoon destroyed. Peep the eye, it looks so good, and that expression. She even uses the demon teleporting ability. She's beyond gone. There's nothing left to do. The demons have won. Speaking of, the Soulja Boy symbol, the demon, is pretty cool. I don't think it gets a lot of praise, but the lion turning into a demon icon when the hair fades to black is pretty neat. The ears changed too, yeah, but it's still pretty cool. This is from their concert where everybody's brainwashed, or they're implied to be. I mean, they're mumbling Soulja the entire time. I only thought of this when I rewatched the scene, but if they're all brainwashed, then do they really need to be doing all of this?
No.
Bro, look at the choreography and everything. I told you, they're out here doing it for the love of the game, aura farming to the very end. I respect it, and so does Rumi, because she waits for the song to finish before singing to get everybody's attention. Everyone's shell-shocked. She gives a damn Green Lantern motto like, bro, what are you doing? It's a solemn moment, I'ma let it rock for now. She's basically embraced being a demon. She has a grasp on her powers, she admits she can't fix herself, and the Hanmoon's destroyed. She's throwing in the towel, boy, she's gonna need to be saved or something. Zoe and Mira right there, it's about to pop off, right?
And the whole moon is gone.
It is. So we can make a new one.
Huh?
This part genuinely made me lose hope in a satisfying ending because Rumi sings a song and it frees Zoe and Mira instantly. There's a fight sequence, Grima hits Rumi with a Kamehameha. She's fighting it but is not looking too good for him. Jinu jumps in the way, tanking the blast, telling her she gave him his soul back and now he's giving it to her. But I don't think that's how it works, bucko. Like, transactionally, I don't think you can sell your soul to the devil and then have it be given back by a random. Wouldn't Grima own the soul? Doesn't matter, this part annoys me, get it out of here, moving on. She uses his soul to help form this OP one-use weapon that's not really in the shot for too long. RIP to the modeling team who designed it for one use. It's pretty cool though. Rumi then uses everyone else's soul to get the rainbow star power up from Super Mario. That's not my joke, I stole it. They then collect the souls into an orb that shoots out and destroys Guima and creates a new Hanmoon. And so it's happily ever after until a sequel. So with the story recapped, hopefully the rushed parts are obvious, or maybe it's a movie feel thing, I don't know. But now we can look at some of the biggest plot holes and problems. They'll be in the order that I wrote them in, so randomly. They don't need to be in order because if they never get addressed again, it doesn't matter. Like, what are you gonna find the timestamp where these things were never elaborated on? Starting with the biggest, most all-encompassing issue, and probably the longest but also the most interesting, the ending and Celine, the Huntrix mentor. She's probably the root of all the problems here. She could have just sat them down when they were kids and been like, hey, look, Rumi's half demon, but she's not bad, it's just a heads up, and so much would have been avoided. Also, they mentioned she was alive in the beginning and the girls didn't go to her despite only her and Rumi knowing the issue. They just joked about what she'd say but never let her know until the very end, and even then when she finally did know, it was when the world was going to be overtaken by the end of the business week. She panicked and just wanted the quickest fix. What is she supposed to do? I think they should have done something different here though. The scene was cool, but picture this. I think they should have killed Celine off before the movie and have Rumi visit the grave, then find Celine or even her mom or dad as a demon. I don't know who, but toss one of them into the underworld and let Rumi come to terms with being a half demon instead of just having her be angry when she leaves. We basically got blueballed out of seeing a demon Rumi. If they didn't want to go demon Rumi and insisted on Celine, then have Celine be a demon. Maybe Guima got to her through her inability to fully love Rumi. The way she talked about hiding her faults and fears isn't too different from the Soulja Boy song where they said don't let it show, keep it all inside. The pain and the shame, keep it out of sight. Now granted, those lyrics weren't in the movie, but they are in the full song. She was near preaching the same as a demon, so if she ended up being one, then it would make everything she said that more powerful. So make her regretful of it. Gina feels guilty and claims demons have feelings, so if Celine became a demon and regretted her actions, she could have had a genuine talk with Rumi where she accepts herself as a half demon. But maybe Rumi's supposed to reach that acceptance alone. Have Celine tell the story about how she hid her faults and fears so much that eventually she gave into the faults and fears regarding raising Rumi. Then just tell her that Mira and Zoe are in trouble. It's a bit cheesy, but make her give Rumi an I failed you, don't fail them too situation, so that Rumi has to get it together for the sake of Huntrix family. There's also the question of Rumi's 180-degree swap from being a demon to immediately being good. It seemed like she embraced the dark side in the end. She was all buddy-buddy with Palpatine, then in the next scene she blinked and got rid of the dope demon eye. This is why I say it was rushed. Some of you may defend it saying show don't tell. They can't just have her say she accepts herself, so the switch is what shows that. And that's a good point if I do say so myself, give myself the medal and whatnot. But then why does she say she's glad the Hunmoon's destroyed, then proceed to create a whole new one? And no, don't say it's different, because it can be different but it still functions the same. No demons with feelings were shown to have been allowed across the border, and the only two demons that were left were demons that could have stayed when it was created, because she said when the Hunmoon sealed, the ones left on their side can stay. By making Rumi tease being a demon, then being normal, you miss the satisfaction of her acceptance and the satisfaction of her arc as a demon. Imagine if she'd given up. Her being overtaken more by her demon side makes her the first to give in. She probably felt ostracized and wanted to be accepted. She also failed, so that's all the more reason for her to give up. She could be saved by Zoe and Mira when they realize she's been brainwashed. This could even give Zoe and Mira reasons to try and overcome their insecurities and fight for their family. Zoe fears she's not enough, but the very idea that she'd fight to save Rumi anyways helps prove that she is enough by simply refusing to give up. And Mira feels like she doesn't deserve a family, but if she wants one, she's going to have to fight for it. And fighting for it shows her that she does deserve it, that both of them can belong wherever they choose to stand tall. Look, I'm not gonna lie, there's little I can think of for their characters because they weren't all too fleshed out with their arcs to begin with. The end song, This Is What It Sounds Like, has a lot of lyrics relating to standing up and fighting, so it'd fit anyways. I tried my best, bro, I'm not a writer for them. But having the other two save Rumi at least once, then have a final battle would add a lot more to their character arcs than nothing. Especially since their arcs are so closely related to the group. Understand the individual through the whole, just like Daniel Day Kim said. There were multiple things addressed here. The reason that they're alternate endings is because the only time the movie really shoots itself in the foot is in the end. The movie started different ideas, but it feels like it got stuck trying to wrap those ideas up. Ginu saying demons have feelings is a prime example, because they got locked away regardless and the idea was rarely explored afterwards. This is going to be an insanely hot take, but if this movie had wrapped up more clearly, it could have been better than Cars, The Incredibles, and even Toy Story, purely because of the world build and what they could do with it. 30 extra minutes would have gone a long way, or a smaller narrative scope. It's not a bad movie by any means. If it was bad, this video would be like my Umbrella Academy video. Scrap. But even though K-Pop Demon Hunters is not a bad movie, it had way more potential, and I wish it was better.